We've had some time delving deep into the Android 12 previews and Android 12 betas over the past few months. Now that the stable release has dropped, we're going to dive even deeper to share every single new feature and change that we've found so far in Android 12, outright the biggest overhaul to the world's most popular mobile OS. 9 to 5 Google is sponsored by NVIDIA GeForce Now, the cloud gaming platform that can effectively transform any laptop, desktop, Chromebook, Shield TV, Android smartphone or tablet into a powerful gaming PC rig without the hassle. GeForce Now supports over 1,000 games, including 90 of the biggest and best free-to-play titles on PC. Stick around to the end of the video to learn more about GeForce Now and how it can get you gaming on every device you own. While there are way more than just cosmetic changes in Android 12, we'll just be focusing on all of those end-user facing tweaks and alterations. There are mountains of under-the-hood improvements that will undoubtedly enhance your overall experience, but they can be much harder to pinpoint or define how they'll benefit your day-to-day experience. The vast majority of new additions, features and enhancements in Android 12 are instantly obvious in the design, interface and operation of what is, frankly, a massive update over the minor update that was Android 11, which was effectively Android 10 Plus or Android 10 Lite. Our goal is to cover as many of the new features that have been slowly introduced and refined over the Android 12 developer preview phase and the associated public-facing beta program. If you've already been updating or updated your device since the very first beta or even the previews, then there likely won't be any surprises right out of the gate, but there may be some tweaks and enhancements that you simply weren't aware of or haven't even used yet. The early phases of the developer and beta program even saw some new features that have since been added to Android 11, courtesy of the immensely popular Pixel feature drop series. Even so, here is every new user-facing feature, alteration, design change, and tweak in Android 12. A huge component of the Android 12 update is the Material You theming, which is likely the most obvious and prominent change once you've updated your Pixel or even eligible OEM device for that matter if it is available for those. Although Material You theming and some of the changes expand way just beyond your home screen, we'll cover what is instantly available. Developers are also going to need to make their apps compatible with dynamic color tweaks of Material You for full system theming. This enables things like color accenting and app UI tuning and adjustments based upon your preset Pixel wallpaper. It's not clear if Material You will be part of the Android 12 updates on other OEM hardware or if it will be exclusively available on Pixel smartphones, at least until we get clarification. No other Android phones will offer Material You at this early stage, although that could change after this video is published. The crux of everything in Material You though starts with your on-device wallpaper. Unlike in years gone by, almost all facets of your device will adopt colours and hues determined by the colours of the wallpaper you choose. You can adjust this, but it does remain the most prominent aspect of Android 12 from the very get-go. Everything from menu items to accenting of notifications and more will change. It all starts with your wallpaper, but you can select from 4 basic colours if you would prefer to have a style better suited to you. To coincide with the reliance of your wallpaper for on-device theming, the Wallpaper and Style app has been completely revamped. If anything, it's actually been stripped back and then minimalised, and it does mean that certain features have been removed, such as font selection and icon selection. But that said, you can change wallpaper from your lock screen or home screen, enable and disable system-wide dark theme, and enable themed icons, and even tune the app grid to your heart's content. Google has produced neat themed icons that will adhere to the dynamic colour theming portion of Material You. The line style icons do encompass almost all of the first-party Google applications and help complement the rest of your system theme with more accenting as a result. In Android 11, the notification shade media player would theme based upon the album art of the music playing, but in Android 12, that accenting is now predetermined by device theme as per Material You changes. As we've mentioned, some customization features, including the ability to adjust your status bar icons and on-device font, have been unceremoniously removed as part of the wider Material You theming setup. This is a pain point and slightly disappointing, and one we hope that will be improved with future updates, and maybe we might even see Android 13 add these back in, so watch this space. Provided you have those themed icons by Google enabled and use the Pixel launcher as your stock launcher, the Google logo in the search bar widget will now change and adjust based upon your preset theme. The 4 colours of the G logo will be replaced with various shades and tones to better suit the rest of the dynamic colour and material you tweaks changed by your wallpaper. Gboard is the default or stock keyboard on Pixel devices and many Android phones out there, and this has also received a Material You makeover that includes notable tweaks to the colours and accenting. No features are affected, instead this is just fine-tuning to adhere with the rest of dynamic colour tweaks. Certain special keys do change shape from a square to circular, and it's more prominent if you have key borders enabled and if you're using a system light theme. Although officially updated with the Android 12 beta program, the Google Camera 8.3 update adds a few touches to ensure that it too adheres to dynamic colour theming as part of Material You. Dividing lines have been removed from the settings page, while the actual button to open the full settings menu is now in text format rather than using a more abstract gear icon as it had prior. All text as well has been updated to the Google Sans text format, which was introduced back at I/O 2021. Alongside a new 4x4 app grid option, you've got the ability to use a 4x5 grid option on the Pixel launcher too. Android 11 currently offers default 5x5, 4x4, 3x3 and 2x2 grid sizes, which gives you even more options for the perfect home screen layout to suit your taste, with these extras added with Android 12. As part of a wider tune-up of on-device privacy within Android, a key feature in Android 12 is that of notifications when an app or service has accessed the camera or microphone. These status bar icons will appear in the upper right portion of the status bar, with a smaller icon to indicate just what hardware has been accessed. When minimized, you'll see a green dot in the top right corner of your display to denote any ongoing access to the microphone and camera hardware. If you're unsure of what app or apps happen to be accessing the hardware, expanding the notification shade and tapping either icon will show a pop-up to confirm just what application or service is currently accessing your microphone, camera, or both simultaneously. Over the course of the Android 12 betas, the settings menu evolved into something more akin to that of One UI on Samsung hardware. The main section headings are now larger, with a more prominent search bar and user avatar. All elements have been shifted down, likely to help aid one-handed usage. Another important change mainly seen in menus and menu subsections in Android 12 is an added Overscroll feature that, for some of you out there, disappointingly can't be disabled. This is a slight stretch effect and is more prominent when reaching the end of a list and just indicates that you can't actually scroll further down or up. When you do dive into the settings menu and access the battery section, Android 12 has now replaced the usual battery-shaped icon with a simple progress bar. This new bar shows a percentage above and a time remaining estimate for your device lifespan, but it's all in one clean line. It's tough to call this an upgrade, but it does provide a slick and clean look that does compete with the rest of your settings redesign. Within settings, certain specific sections are now being treated to a new full-page tweak that includes brand new updated GIF animations and icons to indicate just what feature is currently being activated and making it much clearer to you, the user. Some settings pages with Android 12 also now feature a more prominent toggle to indicate if activated or deactivated on your device. Coloured accenting also allows you to quickly find an activation toggle with any and all further settings found beneath these. With app notifications, Google has decided to make the app icon on the leftmost side of a notification itself considerably larger, especially when the notification itself is minimized. When expanded, it's only slightly bigger, but in both cases it now has an inversed icon. There's also a dedicated snooze button for notifications with greater prominence, allowing you to quickly snooze notifications on a whim. Google has also reduced the white space on notifications when viewing them in landscape mode in Android 12. This does bring about some problems with regards to the UI, but less of your display is allotted to these pop-ups and things such as smart reply options, making it great if you are viewing stuff in landscape orientation. A long-awaited feature is being added in Android 12, with the game dashboard providing a dedicated toolset for mobile gamers. You can find it by heading to Notifications, Do Not Disturb, Schedules, and then find the gaming option. From here you can toggle the Android 12 game dashboard on and enable the shortcut within certain supported games. This pop-up includes the ability to quickly screenshot or record your screen, monitor the in-game frame rate, and even start YouTube live streams direct from your device. One of the more divisive changes in Android 12 is the new changes to quick settings icons and toggles, and the smaller circular ones in previous updates have been removed in favour of pill-shaped elongated buttons. It is quite a big departure and one that many people may not initially favour, but it's a new look all the same. Google Pay is also now getting detached from the cards and passes power button gesture that was first introduced back in Android 11. A new wallet quick toggle icon in the notification shade houses your cards and passes, while quick access is also offered on the lock screen via a new lock screen toggle. Because of the removal of the cards and passes section, which previously housed your smart home controls, there is a new Home in the Quick Settings panel. A new toggle called Device Controls houses and homes all of your smart home devices and associated buttons with a pop-up reminiscent of the original cards and passes section. If you do use the Pixel's default launcher when moving widgets and icons around your home screen, there are now loads of guidelines or guide markers to help you place things perfectly on your screen. The remove and uninstall icons are now also easy to spot, with colourful icons or outlines indicating that you can drag icons upwards to remove or delete them from your device. The unified volume slider has been updated and slimmed down with a volume bar that puts it on a floating white or black window. Any subsequent sliders, such as for a cast device, show up next to the regular volume slider. That said, only one can be interacted with at once, and if you do want to just quickly mute your device, it is a 2-tap button press now. You can now no longer tap the musical icon at the bottom to quickly mute your device, which is a real shame. The power menu has received a brand new pop-up that gives you access to larger and more obvious buttons, including for emergency, power off and restart. Lockdown will also be visible if you have the mode activated in your device settings for a 4-icon power menu, which is a lot different from the previous iteration. When pressing and holding an app icon, the pop-up menu has now received a makeover with rounded corners and more obvious separation between options. On top of that, with compatible apps or apps that have widgets available, you'll also be able to directly access these from the new menu. Android 12 now features a unified internet section that includes a new pop-up when activating the quick toggle, along with a wider settings menu section. This houses all of your data connections, including Wi-Fi and mobile data signals, in one unified menu. All of your on-device medical information, emergency contacts, emergency SOS, car crash detection, and even crisis alerts are now also in a new home in the top-level settings menu for quick and easy access and not hidden between any other sections. Android 11 has also introduced a new setup experience that gives a mostly visual refresh to that setup experience that we'll see on Pixel phones going forward. Google has also put further emphasis on teaching navigation gestures with a lengthy tutorial on how to use these. There's even a little Easter egg with the initial startup screen having haptic feedback as the on-screen shapes reach the extremities of your display and vibrate when they do so. Of course, it wouldn't be a new Android version without a new Easter egg, although that said, the Android 12 Easter egg isn't huge by previous metrics, but when you head to Settings, About Phone, Android version and tap Android version 3 times, the Easter egg will appear and you will have a view of your wallpaper covered by a Material U style clock widget showing the current time. By grabbing the minute hand and spinning it to 12 o'clock, a circle appears over the clock complete with a stylized 12 of Android 12 in a Material U and dynamic color theming that represents your current wallpaper setting. Somewhat copying the way in which iOS handles things with reachability, Android 12 is also finally bringing a dedicated one-handed mode for improved single-hand usage. You can find it by heading to Settings, System, Gestures and enabling the one-handed mode. It will only work with gesture navigation though, and to access you can swipe down directly on the gesture bar on your home screen or any other app for that matter. The app UI will simply slide down, allowing you to access all of the upper extremities without needing to stretch your hand upwards. For those with applicable devices, a new setting in developer options allows you to hide the upper left punch hole notch on the Pixel 4a through the Pixel 5a with 5G. Enabling just applies a black bar to the status bar that works to partially hide the 4A, 4A5G, 5 and 5A's hole punch. The time, notifications and other system icons will remain in place within this new darker background, allowing certain other UI portions to stay exactly where they are. You're now able to add text and emoji to screenshots and images in Android 12 in a change that might relegate some imaging editing apps to the sideline. Once you tap Edit, you're greeted with a near identical UI as you have seen previously. However, the undo and redo buttons have been moved to the top bar next to the share and trash icons. The first tool at the bottom is crop, which is no longer always active in the preview. You can just tap to add text with the keyboard automatically opening and 7 colours of text available for you to choose from. Emoji stickers are a huge addition, with all of your on-device options available if you do want to add those. The Markup tool has received a fair amount of attention in Android 12, gaining new features, but it's also now available in full when hitting the edit button from the share sheet when taking a screenshot or happening to share an image, for instance. When taking a screenshot, the Markup tool though is now more unified with the system tool, including an added and limited selection of fonts and that emoji picker, plus on top of that there's a slightly updated animation when it does come on screen. This shouldn't be confused with the main Markup tool, but this is a slimmed down version of that, particularly for screenshots. Users are now also able to add magnification on either the entire display, as has always been available, or just a small selected portion of it. This works with a floating window that can be moved around on the display to magnify a certain area. It is a little tricky to get set up, but it works very well after you get the hang of it. The floating magnification window in Android 12 is simply a square that can be moved to focus on specific parts of that portion of the display, regardless of the app you're in. As you reach the edges and corners and sides of your display, you can continue to slide your finger to focus on those edges and get a better look at things that you might not necessarily have been able to see previously. A new Reduce Bright Colors toggle is also available within the Quick Settings panel that allows you to quickly reduce brightness to a preset level of your own choosing. There's also the ability to enable a 2-swipe gesture on the gesture bar or a volume key shortcut to enable this feature to quickly reduce the brightness of your display. To make things easier, the screen timeout settings and adjustments are now part of the wider screen attention menu in Android 12 if you are wondering where they'd move to. Expanding upon the Wi-Fi sharing feature introduced back with Android 10, when viewing network access settings, you're able to invite Android phones to connect using Nearby Share. This is great if you can't scan the QR code and speeds up that process of getting other people connected to a specific Wi-Fi network, provided though they do have an eligible and compatible Android phone with Nearby Share enabled. As simple as it is easy to access, just tapping the actual app icon on your notification shade will expand or collapse any notifications that you have there. Picture-in-picture mode has received some new tweaks and features, and for a start, gone are those sharp corners that were in previous versions in favour of rounded, bubbly corners more associated with the Android 12 redesign. While dragging a video player downwards to dismiss, this pops up a new icon in which you place the player to dismiss it. The picture-in-picture window will also now be able to be stashed to the left or right side of your screen, where it will continue playing while being less disruptive overall. A single tap of the window shows playback controls as well, like play, pause, skip and more. Double tapping the window switches back and forth between a small size and a larger one. Or if you're looking for a more refined or window size control, you can now use pinch to zoom to resize the window itself. Verified links are the URLs that an app specifically says should be opened within its dedicated version. In past versions of Android, these are the links that would allow an app to show up in the Open With dialog. Now though, in Android 12, those links will just open directly in the app without having to ask you to open with a specific app of your choosing. Overdue but still appreciated, when you do take a screenshot in Android 12, you can just swipe it away to dismiss it, which was missing on previous versions. You're now able to press the power button quickly 5 times or more to have your device emit a loud sound and a countdown alarm before calling emergency services or a predetermined number of your choosing. This will call for help, but your device will need to be unlocked if you choose a number that is not directly to those emergency services in your region. In Android 12, when you fully expand the notification shade, the alarm icon in the status bar unfortunately no longer appears. Instead, a new alarm tile in the quick settings toggles takes over here. Tapping simply takes you into your clock settings for tweaking rather than enabling or disabling alarms, which is a little bit disappointing. While we have lost active edge on newer pixels in favour of the edge swipe gesture, Google has added the Hold for Assistant ability, allowing you to access the voice AI with a long press of your power button. Disabling simply reinstates that traditional power menu, but when enabled you will have to press the volume up and power key to access those shutdown controls. The Conversations widget is a big addition and it has a pretty simple but useful premise. This widget can tap into any ongoing message threads from different apps on your device, including SMS and RCS from Google Messages, groups and individual messages in apps like Telegram and more. You can pick just about any conversation or even chat room and add directly to your home screen for quick access to the people you contact most. Beginning life as Columbus way back when, Quick Tap is now available in Android 12 and allows you to tap the back of your phone to activate things like take a screenshot, open an app of your choosing, launch the Google Assistant, play or pause media, expand the notification shade, and much more on top. Google is going hard on privacy in Android 12, and the privacy dashboard accessible from within the settings menu gives you a simple and clear timeline view of the last 24-hour accesses to your location, microphone, and your camera. Google has added this in response to users just wanting insight into what data apps themselves are accessing on their hardware. As such, developers are able to share more context about their own applications and usage through a new permissions API. As part of those wider privacy settings, microphone and camera access toggles are now part of the quick settings menu and allow you to just revoke access on a whim and instantly to the hardware for added peace of mind and extended privacy options. The new internet toggle within quick settings also replaces the old Wi-Fi toggle and gives direct access to all data connections on your handset. This new pop-up includes the ability to quickly switch network, disable Wi-Fi, and there's also a handy reset button to restart and reset all device connections in the event of problems or issues on your smartphone. The process of sharing a website link is being streamlined even further with Android 12 with a new icon and toggle in the recent apps menu that lets you quickly share a page or copy the link itself. Tapping the icon will add up to 3 recent contacts with a More tab at the bottom of your display, and you're even able to drag directly into this section if you wish to just quickly send things to your friends. Like the link sharing option, when viewing web pages or some select apps with images, you'll see an image icon in the Recents menu that you can just tap to share any in-page media that has been found. Tapping this will elevate and zoom in on the photo with top shortcuts for lens, copy, share, and then saving directly to your smartphone. You can also drag and drop after tapping that image icon too, very much like that link sharing feature. Using the front-facing camera, you can now also enable face detection for more accurate device auto-rotate detection. To enable head to settings, display and auto-rotate screen, this should prove more accurate than just using gyro-based orientation detection alone. This feels like another one of those finally moments for the AOSP build of Android, as scrolling screenshots are now live in Android 12. However, it only works with certain compatible apps. At the moment, things are a little limited with websites not working and the only expanded menus within Android allowing you to grab longer screens. If the option is available though, when you initiate a screenshot, you'll see a Capture More button that will just grab everything out of view, and when complete you'll be able to crop as you see fit before the image is saved to your Pixel device. Another minor addition to that markup tool when using or adjusting or cropping an image, thanks to Material You theming and dynamic color, the grip tabs that allow you to resize the cropping window will just adhere to your system theming settings for a more cohesive look across the board. Provided you're in a call using the Google Phone app as your default dialer, you now also get an ongoing call chip in the upper left of your status bar that will show a cumulative call time. This appears to replace the old bubble that more naturally fits within the rest of the Android 12 Material You redesign. Just tapping will reopen and return you to your call screen window again. Adaptive charging slows the charging speed between 80 and 100% overnight on your device to help reduce the wear and tear on the battery within it. This has been tweaked in Android 12 to more closely match when your upcoming alarm is set to go off. It's likely anecdotal, but we can definitely see devices reaching 100% more slowly when placed on charge overnight. The only way for you to check though is to go to Settings, Device and check your battery level and just see when that graph reaches 100% over the period of time before your alarm. As part of the permissions settings overhaul, you're now also able to give access to an approximate location or precise location when an app requests the data, with a new pop-up window to indicate the differences with a neat graphic explaining those. Expanding on the growing suite of accessibility features in Android 12, a new camera switch allows you to control your phone with facial expressions via the selfie camera. The facial expressions that can be performed include opening your mouth, smiling, raising your eyebrows and looking left, right or up. The default will, by default though, ask the user to set expressions for next, select and pause, which stops the phone from recognising other gestures temporarily. Other actions include previous, touch and hold, scroll forward and backward, home, back, notifications, quick settings and overview or multitasking. The universal device feature is now fully live and working in Android 12 within the Pixel Launcher's app drawer. So to use it, just swipe up into the app drawer while using it as your default home screen, and you can use the top search bar widget to locally search on your device for apps, contacts and more with relative ease. Making it even easier to share things with Android users in your vicinity, the Nearby Share pop-up now includes an Everyone toggle when you tap the Quick Settings icon. This replaces the All Contacts option, which is now just Contacts, rather than Some Contacts as seen in previous releases. The pop-up UI is also more rounded to better suit the rest of the Material You makeover, with animations subtly indicating or highlighting your on-device preferences. We've seen Google tweak and tune the lock screen with almost every single Android release prior, and in Android 12 the lock screen clock and associated UI has received its most substantial update in years. This includes a larger clock icon that is centralized, but with some other UI options and color settings that will tune that main clock view to your on-device wallpaper as per dynamic color and Material You. When you do have notifications, the clock though will be smaller and in the upper left, giving way to any that are listed as unread on your device. The media player has also seen quite a few changes in Android 12, especially as it's now more compact than it ever has been before. As part of the wider Material You and dynamic color tweaks, the player is no longer using accents determined by the album art on any playing media app. Instead, it's styled according to system accenting, which does fit with the rest of your UI and does make it stand out quite prominently in the notification shade, or the lock screen for instance. When pressing and holding an app icon, the app shortcut menu is also marginally larger than it was previously. This does make it slightly easier to toggle certain sections and shortcuts where available, but it is a very minor tweak in the grand scheme of things. We mentioned that the notification shade has introduced larger pill-shaped notification shade toggles, but that has had a knock-on effect on the rest of this section on your device. As each toggle is larger, there is less room for toggles within this section. You're limited to just 4 at a glance, with a full expansion allowing a total of 8 for you to use and access, although you can move these around as you see fit. When adding an app-specific widget to your home screen or launcher pages, Android 12 introduces a new widget selection list with collapsible sections which hide a carousel for each individual app widget. Each widget is previewed to give you an indication of what it looks like on your home. Each widget is also previewed to give you an indication of what it will look like on your home screen. When entering the Lockscreen PIN entry screen, the keypad has received a major overhaul in Android 12 and the design follows or adheres to your Material You theming, but with large circular keys that will change shape when pressed. This also extends to pattern locks, which now include thicker lines and paths when unlocking via this method. App icons in the Multitasking Recents menu now also appear above the preview screen of an already opened app, rather than being attached or overlapping the preview menu, which was seen on previous versions of Android. The dark theme has been tuned yet again with another Android release, now with a deeper grayscale used within settings menus and associated subsections, while the notification shade uses a similar mixture of colours. AMOLED black and grayscale colours also are used to separate and indicate section boundaries for a slightly odd look that does, although admittedly, fit with the rest of Android 12 wholesale. Part of that wider dark theme tuning though, toast messages now adhere to your system theme preferences. Toast messages, for those not versed in the admittedly obscure term, are those little pop-ups that appear at the bottom of your screen with messages, while Minor is a feature that has been long overdue in Android 12. Bundled notifications include a new Material U counter that appears in a colourful pill background for when you have multiple waiting notifications from one specific application. This does make it much easier to see how many messages you have to read from messaging apps, for instance, but it works across a wide range of on-device applications and system notifications. Google has added a number of new widgets that are specifically designed for usage with Android 12 and rely heavily upon this new update. However, non-themed app widgets are also seeing changes and tweaks with softer corners and rounded edges to better fit with the rest of that massive UI overhaul. Simple but effective, when you activate or deactivate a toggle in the Quick Settings panel, each icon, along with the colour hue to indicate it, there's now a new label that explicitly states whether something is set to on or off, which is easy to see at a glance. A reduced brightness quick toggle was added in the early phases of the Android 12 developer preview, but this was later renamed to extra dim, and this basically just sets your display to a preset brightness setting on a whim. When launching an app from cold or for the very first time in Android 12, you'll be greeted with a full screen launch splash screen with selected or supported apps, including an animated version of the app icon in question. Apps not updated to support an animated icon will just briefly show the on-screen app icon with a white or black background. Alternatively, some apps like Twitter may even launch with a splash screen based upon the icon colour itself. When initiating an app icon long press to activate the floating mini menu, Quick Actions now have lined separators or partitions to indicate each new option you can select. As part of the focus on privacy and transparency in Android 12, when an app accesses your Clipboard, you'll get a toast message to notify of this change and when an app has accessed your Clipboard itself. When plugging your Pixel device in via USB-C or when using a wireless charger with supported Pixel devices, you'll now see a new wave charging animation. Plugging in a USB-C cable initiates a subtle hued colour wave that will expand from the bottom of your display from where the cable has been plugged in. While placing on a Qi wireless charger, you'll see a wave or ripple effect begin in the middle of your display and expand outwards with battery percentages shown in text form. If your device is powered off, a new mini wave style animation will display and include the current battery percentage of your device. A fairly substantial but not instantly identifiable change is how Android 12 handles UI interactions in certain areas of the system. Tapping or toggling menus initiates a very subtle ripple animation to indicate that you have made an adjustment or interacted with a portion in Android 12. As the only Pixel to include native face unlock, the 4 and 4 XL have gained a new wave animation that is similar to those charging indicators to confirm that your device has been unlocked using the biometric access method. Again, like those methods, it is very subtle and so quick you may not even notice it's there when you unlock for the first time when running Android 12. Not to be left out though, devices with a fingerprint scanner have now received a new animation when unlocking in Android 12. Tapping the fingerprint scanner to initiate an unlock will see the screen activate in a small circular wave until your entire home screen is revealed. A small but instantly noticeable change that feels somewhat out of sorts in the bubbly rounded UI approach to Android 12, smart reply bubbles are now more squared off rather than being pill-shaped in previous versions of Android. Styles and Wallpapers has been renamed in Android 12, although this is a simple rename to Wallpaper and Style. The section has actually been toned down quite extensively in favour of Material U. When playing media in any application, the media player in the notification shader at the lock screen is now tuned and slightly more compact than previously. Album art is larger, with a lower right app icon indicating where the media is coming from. Controls and the audio output switcher also decrease in size to allow the track name and album information to occupy a much larger space on your display. The Done button in the screenshot markup tool has been replaced with a Save button, which is more consistent. This is also larger and themed by your system accent colour, making it much more obvious when you use it for the first time. Icon folders on the Pixel launcher home screen also no longer crop or clip hidden icons, with clearer indication of just what icons are in a folder, although these same limitations do still apply here. The search bar pinned to the bottom of each page of the Pixel launcher is now slightly thicker and includes a microphone logo and lens icon, rather than the abstract Google Assistant logo, to indicate that voice and image searches are available directly from this widget. The Pixel Tips app has also seen some renovations with a new tiled layout that has icons for specific on-device sections, likely to make things easier to find or understand for newbies. None of this redesign though affects the overall usability of the app, it just remains the same as it ever has done previously. In another moderate UI tweak, gone are the colourful settings menu subsection icons from Android 11 in favour of a flatter monochrome look with the circular outlines removed for line style icons, which fits a little bit more with the rest of the UI changes in Android 12. Within settings menu subsections, the toggles have also been updated with an enclosed indicator within a pill-shaped toggle. The colour of the toggles will also now adhere to your system accent theming for that overall consistent approach that Google is going for here. The Now Playing feature in Android 12 also now utilises the Google Sans text font, which is very subtle but noticeable when certain characters such as G or Q are spotted, and side by side with Android 11 you can see the very subtle differences here. Another change to the lock screen includes the padlock icon, which indicates your device is securely locked. This has now been shifted into a more central position from the lower position it has lived in for quite a while now. It's still there, it's just slightly higher than it used to be. When launching the emergency screen from the extended power menu in Android 12, the icons now include sliders and more rounded corners to access the local emergency services or access your device saved personal information. If you are setting up another Android device or restoring from a backup from a device running Android 12, the setup screen has also had a redesign to fit more in with the Material You aesthetic. Text is larger and the padlock icon has been moved to an upper left position, while the shape match verification has moved down the display and has a new warning message. This could easily be a feature that you never access though in Android 12 if you don't restore devices very often. So in essence, that just about covers every new user-facing feature and change that you'll likely see or encounter within the full release of Android 12 for Google Pixel phones. Naturally, as we mentioned at the start, there are tons of under-the-hood improvements and enhancements along with these new additions that make Android 12 the biggest upgrade in a long time. While the Android 11 update was modest at best compared to the huge overhaul from Android 10, Android 12 is probably an even bigger shift and the biggest revamp to the mobile OS since Android Marshmallow. If you have been enrolled in the previous Android 12 beta program or ran the developer previews and therefore know these features inside and out and used them to death, then let us know your favourites down in the comment sections below. We'd love to hear what you think is the best so far. Also, conversely, we know it's early, but are there any missing features here you'd love to see or want to see from the rumoured Android 12.1 or even Android 13 updates now that Snow Cone has been served with plenty of flavour? Again, slap them down in the comment sections below. You'll also find direct links to our exclusive Android 12 wallpapers created to celebrate Android 12 in all its glory. As always though, this is Damien with 95Google saying thanks for watching, and I will speak to you later. 95Google on YouTube is sponsored by Nvidia GeForce Now, which lets you play PC games completely free in the cloud across all of your devices, or for access to RTX graphics featuring the latest ray tracing technology, longer game sessions, and even better overall performance, then you should definitely sign up for the GeForce Now Priority membership. If you want to learn more, then head to the link in the description or geforcenow.com, or check out Nvidia's GFN Thursdays, which celebrate and highlight the latest releases, news, and all things cloud gaming each and every week. And thanks to Nvidia for sponsoring 95Google here on YouTube.